Men's quad final.
We're now getting ready for the men's quad final.
Garfield.
And we're a little sketchy on our
Christchurch
lane assignments, but
JEB
we can tell you who's in this heat.
Woodbridge.
Hilton, Christchurch A,
Williams.
Garfield, JEB Stuart,
Christchurch
TC
B.
Williams, Woodbridge, and Christchurch B. And
Attention.
hopefully we'll be able to sort out the lane assignments as we go. And we are underway.
Good start, Mo Cruz. Looks like JEB Stuart boat really got a good start, good pop right out from the finish. Both Christchurch and JEB Stuart.
Now you might be noticing something a little different about these boats. Tell us, Rob.
Yeah, what we have here, these are quads, sculling events. Ooh, we had a little collision here between boats 7 and 6. I think they recovered nicely, but lane 6 is taking the punishment off of that one.
So each man has 2 oars, one in either hand, and no coxswain on these boats.
Yeah, like I was saying, right, this is a sculling event, and what we're looking at in sculling, a shorter oar. Each one has 2 oars. The sweep events, a rower has 1 oar, and that's a very quick way of telling the difference. These boats can go as fast as an 8.
Okay, so if we have this right, that would be, I believe, JEB Stuart out there in lane 4 leading the way with Garfield right behind, and then outside of them, would that be Hilton over there?
I think what we have here is JEB Stuart out in front, followed by Christchurch, and then we have Woodbridge on the outside.
Okay.
Change that. That's Hilton.
Yeah.
That's Hilton.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
The teams are really spacing out. This is going to be a hard one to call. We got some water in between these boats.
As we said earlier, we are on board the Jolly Roger, keeping pace with these boats, and we have to pretty much keep pace with who's ever bringing up the rear, as not to spread a wake in their path. So as these heats spread out, the leaders will get farther and farther away from our vantage point.
JEB Stuart here is really looking strong. Right through the water, they're all catching together. Nice layback. Boat is surging nicely. There's some skying a little here with the Christchurch boat, but they're doing real well. Staying right in the race.
Now, do the scullers, do they train any differently than
No,
others?
they really don't. They train the same way. You still have the race broken up into the same 3 segments, the beginning, middle, and end. The only difference here is, again, the 2 oars. And, you notice, again, that there's no coxswain. These are straight quads.
So how do they stay in a straight line?
Right now, you have one of those rowers inside that boat steering the shell. If you look closely, one of these rowers will then turn around, and you may peek at the side of their shoulder and see where they are, or basically look in front of them and steer from where they have just covered, making sure that they're straight. Now you can see the orange buoys. That helps in a lot too, that are on the course here.
So they just make sure they stay in the center of the lane.
Yeah, as straight as possible.
JEB Stuart still out in front, with Garfield right next to him and Hilton on the outside, edging up.
Hilton's looking really strong. It's coming up. It looks like they've gained a seat or 2 on Christchurch here, putting themselves in a position to surge at the end.
As they enter the last 500 meters of this 1,500-meter course.
Looking real strong. JEB Stuart hasn't given anything up whatsoever to anybody. They are in full control of this race.
A close bunching for the top 3, and then the next 4, a big gap between them. And JEB Stuart leading the way.
The next 20 strokes. Christchurch does look like they've caught back up a little here with JEB Stuart. It's hard to see with our angle, but it looks like JEB Stuart really has this. Oh, look at these guys surge. Look at this. Look at this. Real nice.
So from our vantage point, it'll be JEB Stuart, Garfield, and Hilton 1, 2, 3 in the men's quad.
I was expecting this race to be a little bit closer than it was, but right now with these three boats, really good effort. It's going to see what happens. It's going to be very interesting to see what happens when they meet again at the Casper Championships later on in this pond.
This is the Virginia Scholastic Rowing Championship. How much more of a high school season do they have left?
Well, we have another 4 or 5 weeks in the area. We have one more race. Next week, a lot of these crews that you see here today will be going to the Stotesbury Regatta, which is the largest high school regatta in the world. You're going to see about 100 and maybe 80 to 200 crews. Followed then by the Scholastic Rowing Championships that's being held in Orlando this year. And then some of these crews will actually go up and participate in Canada.
All right, again, the final results for the men's quad, JEB Stuart, Garfield, and Hilton. Then let's go over to Chris Mader.
I'm standing here at JEB Stuart High School out of Falls Church, Virginia. These guys are champions today of the men's quad final here at the Regatta in Virginia. You guys are state champions. I mean, you don't have a cox or anything. It's you four out there. Obviously, the coach, you would be the fifth. But you guys all have to be on the same page at all times. I mean, how do you keep control enough for 1,500 meters to win such a big race like this?
You just got to follow the lane markers and keep it together.
Yeah. I mean, do you guys kind of have somebody that you refer to as taking charge, or is it all a team thing?
I would say the bowman is calling the shots, but it's up to the whole crew to keep it together.
Right. Now, come over here. Coach, how long have you been coaching, if you don't mind me asking?
About 15 years. 15
years. How many state champions do you have under your belt so far? Is this the first one?
Maybe 3.
You have 3. Is this one more special than any of the other ones for any reason whatsoever? Is this a certain group of guys? Anything that stands out?
Well, I think they're all special, but this one was really special because it could have been any race, but I could tell that they pulled the absolute hardest, and this was the best race they've ever rowed themselves. And it could have been any race, it just happened to be the state champion, so I'm glad to be holding the hardware for it.
You picked a good race to do your best, I'll tell you that. That's a heck of a trophy you got there. I'm here with JEB Stuart High School state champions. Thank you very much.